Greetings! You like these glasses? I got them in New York a while ago. They're sunglasses, but it do be bright in here, so periodically you might see me wear these just for the vibe. Probably when I'm playing piano, who knows? Anyway, surprise microphone! That's right, we are wireless today, baby, with a surprise camera angle as well. Today we're going to be looking at AITAH, otherwise known as Am I the A-hole? Starting with, am I the a-hole for letting my kids loot my brother's house to prove my point? Wow, you got them out there doing crimes, huh? My brother and his family came for a visit last month. My kids and I play with Lego, and we have fun leaving little dioramas around my house. Just silly stuff like a fight between Iron Man and Darth Vader on the Loot Llama. It's just our way of leaving Easter eggs around the house. My nephew really liked them and decided to take a few home. When we noticed they were missing, I asked my brother to bring them back. He said that it was just kids being kids and that he would bring them back the next time we saw each other. Pause. Okay, wait. So his kids stole them? That's not bueno. That ain't bueno. I mean, without talking about it, you could ask like, hey, can I borrow this? Sure, but bring it back. It's like a classroom hamster. You know what I'm saying? I saw him for coffee and I reminded him beforehand that I wanted all of our stuff back. He forgot to bring the toys. Okay, game on. We went over to his place for a barbecue. I told my kids that unless all of our stuff was returned to us when we got there, literally anything in the house was fair game. This is something brothers would be doing, man, to get each other, I feel. I feel like this is very much a brother thing. It's like, all right, hey, kids, why don't we steal? Let's steal from our friend, hey? Why don't we do that? This is something I like about the wireless mic is I get to talk here at a distance. Hold on, let me bring this guy back here. Yeah, you're going to be looking at me, aren't you? Yeah, we're traveling together. How you feel about that? Bet you didn't even know this was allowed. Frick, dude, I could just walk around, man. But yeah, this is real brother coded, you know what I mean? Like the godless barbarians they went to town. When we left, I don't think there were any remotes, small electronics, or beer mugs left at his house. I actually had to sneak the dog back into the house before we left. Oh, meaning they were going to take the dog? I started getting calls on our way home. I ignored them. When I got home, I returned his calls. He said a bunch of stuff was missing from his house. I said I would check with the kids. He said that I effing well knew what happened and that he wanted his stuff back. I said I would box it up and return it the next time we saw each other, as long as we got our Legos back. He was at my house with my Legos later that evening. He had even accidentally included stuff that wasn't ours. I returned it and his stuff. I told him that this is how we would be dealing with his kid in the future. Yeah, show that kid! Discipline that kid! Discipline that child! Steal! Stealing is good at times. I'm going to settle back down in my technological cavern. You see this? You've never seen this setup from I look like a freaking cockpit guy. A pilot? What? A cockpit guy? I don't know, man. This is crazy. I like this angle a lot. I'm going to read the next beat from this angle because why not? He is pissed off that he had to make a special trip to return my stuff. My parents think that there was a huge difference between an 8-year-old taking Lego minifigures and a couple of teenagers pillaging their uncle's house. Am I the a-hole? Look, to these kids, this Lego stuff is their trophy that they built with their dad. This is like this is something that they worked hard on. It's a project. It's a special project that was taken from them. And without their knowledge, by the way, it wasn't something that they agreed to or anything. So I don't know, man. You got to get your point across that, hey, this is important to us. Are you going to bring it back or not? Oh, you're not? Then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make you understand what's really going down. I love that they even got the dog, LOL. An 8-year-old knows not to take toys and stuff from others. Well played. When I was roughly that age, I stole my friend's Pokemon cards. I got home with them and was acting super shifty. My mom caught on and pretty quickly extracted a confession, which I gave with many tears. Her response was to march me down the block, still crying, and make me hand them over to my friend with an apology. I haven't stolen anything since then. Those moments in childhood when you're younger, those moments, it really is super important how you react to those as a parent, I imagine, because that's setting up this expectation. And also the kid felt guilty about it. The kid was crying, he's like, I know, I'm sorry, I should have done. This is how we deal with it now. Because if you deal with it when they're younger, they don't have all those complications of having to deal with those, personality defects when they're older. You know what I'm talking about? Believe it or not, some people still have personality defects in their 30s and 20s and 60s. And all over the place. I actually had to sneak the dog back into the house before we left. I laughed for the first time since my horse recently died reading this. Oh, okay. That's sad. That's just such a rare sentence that I had to pause for a second. That's so rare. But it's such an American. I mean, if we look back 100 years, that sentence would be like, yeah, you got a horse. course you got a horse. But reading it now in the year of our Lord 2026, it's like, you got a horse? It's crazy. ETA, I understand you think this was funny, but you can actually have some sensitivity for my loss. Make Joe's if you want, but please don't comment things like I was laughing when my horse died or murder, etc. Just don't cross the line, please. This top comment here says, I'm sorry for your horse. This is why I don't allow books or phones near any of my horses. Wait, okay. I laughed for the first time since my horse recently died reading this. So the joke is, the horse was reading this Reddit post and died because of it. I'm sorry. That's not, dude, losing an animal is awful. And like, horses are awesome. Horses are so cool. It's a different time, It's such a rare thing. I think people laugh at the unusual, and they do that for an evolutionary purpose. You laugh at something that's different than everything else because it kind of is a sound signal that alerts other people around to pay attention to that different thing. And maybe that will bring enough awareness to something unusual that'll help you survive a little longer. And that's why we laugh, I think. It's like a survival instinct. So you were literally at his house and they didn't give the Legos his kids stole back to you? Unless your nephew is intellectually compromised in some way, 8 years old is absolutely old enough to know that stealing is wrong. For real, my kid knew not to steal at 5 years old. It's not hard to teach your kids, if it's not yours, don't take it. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty straightforward, I think. Pretty straightforward. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife why our daughter doesn't trust her? So far, just based on the title alone, open communication is good, right? Telling people, people communicating is good. You should be transparent. If you know something that your daughter has an opinion about your spouse, you should tell your spouse why. You should be open about it. Just be nice if you can. I don't know. We'll see. So for the last few years, me, 36, and my wife, 34, have had a very strained relationship due to the way my daughter and wife interact. It started when my daughter was 13. She came to her mother and confided her feelings about our family friend's son. My wife decided that this was too cute to share and told everyone during a family barbecue, including the boy. Uh-oh! This embarrassed my daughter, and I told my wife to stop as this made our daughter upset, but my wife justified it at the time because they were just kids. 13? 13, dude. Being just a kid at 13. No, not to a teenage girl. Bruh. 13, dude? That is like mortifying age. That's when all them hormones, all them things are at an 11, my friend. And you're going to dismiss that kid's feelings because they're 13? That's when they feel things like the most strongly, and maybe their entire life. Careful, because you're playing with a grenade. I've always known my wife has a hard time keeping secrets, but I thought she would have at least tried since this was a touchy subject, especially for a growing teenager with her first real crush. And you immediately told the kid? Why would you do that? Don't spoil that. After this incident, I started noticing things like this more, like my wife openly telling everyone our daughter's business. Don't do that. She's not your plaything. She can have her own private life. That's how you build resentment. Don't do that, dude. Let them have that experience for themselves. That own private, like, oh, do I tell him I like him or not? Like, don't take that away. It's like you're trying to relive your own childhood through her. But in a weird way, not in a good way, a weird way, Admittedly, most of these incidents were unnoticed by me for years because they were usually conversations between my wife and her friends when I wasn't around, as she didn't like it when I interrupted girl time. However, I am noticing more now, like my wife telling everyone about my daughter's business, like texts, phone calls, and other secrets that she told her mom in the past when believing that they wouldn't be retold. As everything progressed, my daughter started getting closer to me more because I became the default parent who deals with medical issues, school drama, crushes, which has upset my wife because my daughter refuses to have girl talk with her anymore and is usually cold and doesn't like spending time with her. Okay, all right, so she's got a little icy chip on her shoulder now. She got a little bit of that coldness. You know what I'm saying? Dude, you can't be spilling people's business. I don't care if it's your daughter, your friend, your spouse, your mom, anybody. You can't be spilling people's business and expect them to want to chill with you, Especially if when you spill their business, they get embarrassed about it. Out there telling who she has a crush on, like to the crush? Oh my God, dude, that's so that's so messed up to me, man. Why would you do that? That's a mess. My wife decided to try and punish our daughter after finding out she got her first boyfriend and wasn't told. I am not a fan of this lady right now. Our daughter is 16 now, and I don't feel like it's necessary to punish her for these things when she has made a conscious decision to protect her privacy. I know she still loves her mom, but I understand not sharing things she doesn't want to get spread or blown out of proportion. I came home to my wife yelling at our daughter and demanding her phone, her laptop, etc., all over this situation, which it made me very angry because my daughter was in tears and she's still my little girl and doesn't deserve to be punished over something that her own mother caused. All right, we're in the thick of it now, y'all. We are in the freaking thick of it. This sucks. It went from like a, oh man, the mom is embarrassing me, to like, oh, now she's going a little astray. You know, this is we're now in a different territory. All right, we're shifting into second gear here, which sucks, dude. Because the mom is self-conscious that her daughter's not telling her anything, and now she's taking it out on the daughter, and that's when things get a little, you know. I told my wife to leave her alone and that we would talk, but I also told her to give back the items, which my wife refused on and started screaming at me in front of our daughter, something I don't like. I like to have calm conversations away from our daughter to prevent making her feel scared or uncomfortable. Yeah, I think if you're married and you're screaming at each other in front of your kid, it's not a good look. Do what you can to calm down, go for a little walk, go on a treadmill, go to the gym, but speak after the emotions have gone through you if you can. It's not easy because a lot of people, you short fuses and but you do everything you can because otherwise you're in a dangerous situation. When you're a parent, you lead by example, you know? Just in general, humans lead by example. We all look to each other to see how we behave and react to certain situations. The best thing you can do for people in your immediate surroundings is lead by example, point blank, period. But when you're a parent, you know, you're showing your kid how you deal with the spouse in times of conflict. And screaming in front of your kid, not the move. Eventually, after multiple attempts to calm her down so we could discuss this properly, she grabbed my arm and started digging her nails in my skin, and I had enough by then. Now, if in any argument you start getting physical, grabbing and like intentionally trying to hurt your partner, to me, that's a relationship ender. I started ranting about how she always told our daughter's business to people and how basically the whole family and friends around us knew everything about our daughter's personal life and medical history. And then I told her it was her fault our daughter doesn't trust her anymore, which made my wife start crying, and she locked herself in the bedroom while I started comforting our daughter and went out to get her some dinner. That's fine. She can cry. She can lock herself in the bedroom. She has to understand there's consequences to her actions because she just went bananas. This is stressing me out. Is this stressing y'all out? Don't worry. You know what? We'll do a little eye bleach after this. Just, you know, hold on. I'll show you a cute puppy or something here in a second. But now I'm home and I'm getting serious silent treatment from my wife, and I'm wondering if I could have possibly said something different. No, she got physical with you. But I'm tired of her blaming our daughter every time she doesn't get told something. She's incredibly selfish and weird in her priorities. She needs help. Like, truly, she needs help. You gotta look into this, dude. Let's see the edit here. I have read many comments talking about my wife, and I am seriously taking this all in. I really don't want my daughter to think this is okay for her future husband to treat her this way, so I'm requesting my wife attends therapy by herself before she can join me and my daughter in family therapy, because I'm not putting my daughter in a situation where her mother will probably use the therapy sessions to punish her, which people have mentioned. If she refuses, I will look into separation because I've realized my daughter needs her dad to keep her safe, and she won't be safe if her mother is acting this way and normalizing this behavior. Ego! You want to keep your marriage? You want to keep your relationship? You want to keep a healthy relationship with your daughter? Let your ego aside and understand that sometimes you can be wrong. Nobody is perfect 100% of the time. Nobody is infallible 100% of the time. If you have multiple people telling you that you are doing something wrong, that there's something with your personality that is strange, you're doing an odd behavior, you got multiple people telling you that, you better drop your ego or you are going to lose your life as you know it, okay? Ego is the enemy. Ego is the devil. Don't cherish your ego over your family, you dunce. Don't do that. That's insane. Over your family, your friends, whatever. I don't care. I hope she gets into therapy. I really do. I am scared for my future, honestly, but I'm also hopeful that I can show my daughter she is loved and safe. I will be sending my daughter to stay with her aunt for the rest of the week while I have this conversation because I'm not taking any chances that she'll have to listen to an argument between me and my wife. Yeah. Clear the room, dude, because a friggin', nuclear bomb is about to go off. Yeah, that sucks. Because at first I'm like, she's just doing a little thing and she doesn't know any better, the wife. Now it's like, now she's like violently defending her right to be all up in her daughter's business. And like, look, wanting to know whether or not your kid has a boyfriend, I understand that because there's a lot of conversations that need to be had when your 16-year-old girl starts dating a guy. I get that. I get being removed from that and how that can make you feel weird. But when you're then punishing your kid for not having an open line of communication, you're scaring them into trying to be open with you is like the worst possible strategy. It's just treat people with kindness. That's all. Just treat people kindly. Try to respect them. Respect what's important to them. Even if it's a 13, 14-year-old daughter. Imagine that. Imagine respecting your children. Imagine respecting their opinions and their beliefs and their privacy. Imagine all the Let's read some comments, hey? Starting with NTA, but when your daughter gets her devices back, tell her to change all of her passwords to her social media. Her mom is too involved in her business and is the true definition of your parent being your biggest hater. She is going out of her way to embarrass your daughter. And then Op replied, don't worry, I got her devices back immediately after the fight because I refuse to punish my daughter for having a life outside of family. I will tell her to change her passwords, though. That is something I didn't think about before, but I don't doubt that my wife would try this in a desperate attempt to find out things. What are you looking for, Mom? What are you looking for? All of us have done this at one point or another, but sometimes, dude, we just lock in to look for a problem. Holy God, it just happened. All right, here we go. We're going to read this one now. It's a bit intense here. NTA, so your wife physically assaulted you after screaming at you in front of your daughter, and you're afraid you're the a-hole for simply telling her the truth? I'm afraid you have bigger problems than just getting a dose of the silent treatment and far bigger things to worry about than being the a-hole. And then Op replied, he said, you're definitely right. For many years, I felt like I was doing something wrong when we had any type of disagreement, and I guess I've been conditioned to think that I am in the wrong when she acts this way. But I cannot be thinking that when my daughter needs me and I was only trying to protect her. I will work on thinking about how I need to stop trying to find a way to blame myself and focus on fixing and helping my daughter feel supported even more. Then we have another comment here that says, thank you for protecting your daughter and her right to privacy. Really, my mother was/is exactly like your wife, including all that immature crying and cleverly making herself the victim when being called out and when I am low contact to protect myself from spiraling into depression, anxiety, body dysmorphia. This year, I want to be alone during Christmas/not visiting her, and since January, I'm afraid to inform her. Highly toxic behavior from your wife towards your daughter and towards her husband. I'm turning 40 this year and will never recover from the damage this and some other toxic behavior has caused on my ability to have a social life. I don't have one. Yeah, because your parents are the first figures in your life you're supposed to just trust. Your ability, your relationship with your parents, your ability to trust your parents help establish the groundwork, the foundation of you having a great example that, hey, I can trust people sometimes. Huge groundwork, huge foundation you're doing there. You want your kids to trust you. And a way to make sure that doesn't happen is by disregarding what's important to them. It's by spilling their secrets. I've made my point, I hope. You are by far not the a-hole, but a great dad. Unlike your daughter, I've never had a healthy adult around me to protect me. You are by far NTA, but are a great dad. That's good people. NTA, your wife effing sucks. Yeah, your wife sucks in so many ways. First, her blabbermouth. Second, her punishment makes no sense. I'm grounding you until you start giving me what I want is stupid and ineffectual. I'm glossing over the fact that it's too harsh. It doesn't do anything to understand or solve the underlying problem because I'm stuck on how dumb these types of punishments are. I'll hurt you until you love me is not a winning strategy. Third, She isn't communicating with her big girl words and is instead pouting and hoping you'll cave because she is in the finding out stage of her dumb need to gossip and she doesn't like it. Fourth, she physically assaulted her husband in front of her child. Physical assault should always be a one and done. Once your partner lays hands on you, that is it. Break up. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go to jail. Thank you to everyone for pointing this out. By the time I got to that part in the story, I was so done with this woman and her BS that I skimmed. Please take your daughter and leave. Yeah, digging your nails in intentionally to hurt your spouse. What are you doing, dude? Miserable person here. Miserable. So everybody here is saying, oh, you mean she assaulted you? All that stuff. Family therapy is a recommendation here. And then I think this is where my head's at and maybe where a lot of you are at. Family therapy or divorce, because that's where things are headed. I think that's fair to say. You're with your spouse who has a strange relationship with your daughter, and you're supposed to stick by her side and all that stuff. It's like, and she's being abusive. She's like assaulting you now. She thinks she could do that and scream at you in front of your kid. It's like, no, you respect the family. You are not the focal point of the entire family. Mom, you got to relax. You need to chill out, and you need to let people be people. We're not puppets for you to play with. We're humans with whole lives. Anyway, take a look at this dog. This rescue's name is Charlie Chaplin. Look at those teeth, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, that's a happy puppy if I've ever seen one. What a cutie, dude. Look at the little teeth. Look at his little face, little fur. I don't even know what kind of dog this is. It's like a golden mix with like a fox. It looks like a chubby fox. Exactly. Looks like a little fox. What a sweetie. Oh, I love that. Okay, great. All right, next story. I feel good. I feel recharged. I feel good. Sorry, folks. That story got a little heavier than I thought it would. AITA for saying no to my girlfriend's tradition. Throwaway account. I, male 30. Lost my younger brother when I was 22. I'm sorry, that sucks. He had cancer, he fought very hard. Ever since, I've been donating blood on the anniversary of his death every year. Very sweet, very cool. That's a great tribute. That is a tribute that actually makes a difference. Good for you. I take the day off from work, visit his grave, donate blood, and then come home, relax, and watch his favorite movie. I love that. That is such a good way to honor your brother. I haven't read a lot of stories about how people honor their past loved ones, but I think this is such a great move. I like this. It's effective. You're actually doing something. You're honoring his memory. You're doing something he enjoyed. It's a day you get to hang out with him and contribute towards his memory. Everything about this, I love. This is great. I know it's a simple personal tradition, but it means a lot to me. My girlfriend of 9 months, Anna, 31 female, asked if I could meet her and her mom. I have met her many times before, and it wasn't the meet the parents for the first time situation for lunch yesterday. I told her no and explained again about what I do on my brother's death anniversary. She got upset and said, well, it's my tradition to have lunch with my mother every time she's in town, and she really wanted to see you. You can do your stupid blood donation tradition any day. Pause. Did she actually say stupid? Are you misquoting her because that's how you feel? Or did she actually say stupid? Big difference here. Because if she said it, goodbye. That's gonna be a bye-bye. That's gonna be a bye-bye for me, dog. I'm freaking bye-byeing out of this relationship. 9 months, homie? This relationship ain't getting carried to term. Up top. I don't think so. I do not think so. Stupid blood donation tradition? Like, huh? In any relationship, if you do something to honor your siblings, your deceased siblings' memory, and your partner, I don't care who they are, says it's stupid in passing, under their breath, in any way, lights out on that relationship. I explained to her, if she used the word stupid, no explaining. I explained to her that it's not just about the blood donation. Later in the evening, while I was resting and watching my brother's favorite movie, she texted me again, asking me to join them. I reiterated that I really didn't want to and would hang out with her mom next time. She replied that I embarrassed her in front of her mom with my selfishness and laziness. Fuck you, lady. Since then, she's been distant. Do I owe her an apology? AITA? Top comment here. Okay, good. The top comment is exactly what I was focused on. Stupid blood donation tradition. After that comment, I hope she's soon your ex-girlfriend That is unbelievably upsetting. You haven't asked her to join you, just to leave you in peace to honor your brother. NTA, and I'm sorry for your loss. I'm shocked that she didn't offer to go with him. That would have been my first instinct. Then I would have asked why he loved that film. Come on, man. It's one guaranteed day of contributing something to society and resting and watching a film. It's borderline a holiday if we're gonna use that terminology in terms of, you take off work and you are doing something. It is a holiday. It's a day that you're celebrating and honoring your brother's memory. You're honoring his fight, and you're contributing something to a blood bank, which are in desperate need of blood, I'm sure. You're doing a great thing. And to call that stupid is so asinine and selfish and God, what a horrible person. And she can't even deal with you, and so she's blocking you after that. She can't even deal with her own mistake. What a turd sandwich of a person. She owes you an apology for being disrespectful of your loss and how to honor your brother. NTA, she called you stupid. She sounds self-absorbed. She's not a keeper. NTA, she's insensitive, and you'd be a fool to stay with her. So, dude, more people need to say that. You would be a fool if you stayed with this person. More people need to expressly say that. I would think less of you, and I truly believe you would be a moron if you stayed with this person. You staying with him will make me respect you less. You staying with her will make me respect you less. Some people need to be talked to like that. For real. I mean, seriously. People beat around the bush too damn much. The fact that she said stupid as regarding your tradition shows how cruel she is in not showing sympathy. I would not be with someone like that at all. So her random lunch with her mother was more important than the anniversary of your brother's death? 100% NTA. Your girlfriend seems to lack basic compassion and empathy. Good luck with that. She seems lovely. Sarcasm. His brother has given him a last gift in exposing his girlfriend at this early stage. Break up with her and be glad you didn't waste more time on such a selfish and cruel person. Update. I texted her that we needed to talk. She never replied. She just blocked me from everywhere. Social media, WhatsApp. Her best friend who was following me on Instagram blocked me too. What a mature lady. Wow. You didn't dodge a bullet. You dodged a nuclear warhead, dude. I'm not sad. I wanted to end it anyways. Thank you for your support, everyone. I really appreciate your kind comments. Some users suggested that my brother/remembrance tradition saved me from getting serious with her and a lifetime of misery, and it made me smile. Thank you again. Yeah. I gotta take care of you. We're gonna go over to eye bleach, all right? My pet cow, Chunk, gave birth yesterday. I'm so proud of her. Look at this little cow. I thought that ear was part of the nose and this weird optical illusion going on. But look how pretty. This cow, see that color of cow? This cow only produces chocolate milk. Am I right? Come on, y'all. That's how that works, right? Somebody tell me. Can I get an amen in the chat? Oh, this is sick. Put this in black and white, dude. Put this on a rap album. Yeah, stunt on them! Stun on him, Chunk. Oh my God, look at that tail. Happy little tail wagging around. Just posing, right? Stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board right here. What a cute little family. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. This is when she was pregnant. Dude, look. Oh my gosh. All right. I told my friend why I don't want to date him, and our friends are saying I broke him. AITA. So my 21 female friend of 10 years, Mark, not his real name, he's 23 years old, called me yesterday to meet him for lunch and that he had something important to discuss with me. I had free time, so I agreed. I think a lot of ladies in the chat right now are going to know where this is going. Also because of the title, but you know what I'm saying. I met him already there and joined him. We had lunch and we talked about a bit of random things. Then he cleared his throat and started speaking. He first told me that he didn't understand why I was dating my now boyfriend when he's a better match for me. Stop. No, don't do that. Don't do that. She's currently in a relationship. So your game plan is to yoink this girl from her current fella. That's your game plan? This is what you look like. You know what I'm saying? This is you. Dumb. Your IQ is your shoe size. I asked him to explain, and he basically went on about how he liked me first, and he met me first. He's more good looking. He knows me better. He's taller than my boyfriend and more successful, which is not true in any way. My boyfriend works, aside from growing up in wealth, while Mark's entire life is funded by his parents' money. LOL. Okay. So we got a classic case of entitlement. He told me he doesn't understand how I can be with him when he's always been around waiting for me. I was out of words and asked him if he wanted me to be be honest, to which he said yes. I told him that I would never want to date him given how I've seen the way he treated his past girlfriends. He ghosts them when he feels like it and just expects them to be there waiting. He's entitled. That's it. I told him he's too immature and irresponsible for me and that dating him would be exhausting. I also explained that the reasons I mentioned was why over time I started putting a distance to our friendship because I didn't like the way he treated the women in his life. Good for you. Good for you, dude. You corrected him. Hopefully, he catches that, he understands it, and he moves on. Because people need to hear that stuff. If they've got weird behavior, they need to at least hear the truth. They just need to be aware that that's something that is a part of them, or something that other people observe about them, so they can hopefully adjust. You know what I'm saying? When I was done, he was just quiet. He just excused himself and left. I went home and went about my day. Later in the evening, our other friends started asking what I did to Mark and that he's been a wreck ever since he met me for lunch. He's drinking and not telling anyone what happened. What? Take the note. I explained to them what happened and they are saying I was harsh and that I broke him, blah, blah, blah. But I think someone had to tell him the truth. So Reddit family, am I the a-hole? No, absolutely not. He was being such a creep. He was being a creep. He was being weird. He was being a bad friend to you. He was being a bad friend to you, to your, man. If he's ever met him before, he was just being a freaking weirdo. No, not the a-hole. NTA, even if you had kind of liked him, I feel like declaring his feelings by being rude about your current partner is such a turnoff. He doesn't say anything meaningful or romantic about you, just that he thinks he's better than your actual boyfriend, so you should dare him instead. So entitled. I think that meant date. So you should date him instead. So entitled. Look, yeah, that's like some red pill, weird alpha male bullshit, dude. That's some weird stuff where you're just like, well, I'm better than him and blah, blah, blah. I'm taller. I'm more handsome. I got more money, so what's the deal? What? He's on some weird online forums. He's on some Andrew Tate stuff. For real. Like, he's on some weird stuff, dude. Right? Like, it's a competition with another guy and he forgot the end goal. Maybe compliment the woman you're after instead of complimenting yourself vis-a-vis her boyfriend. So tone deaf and zero self-awareness. This dude sounds like a total douche. Sounds like. No, he's a douche. This was the first thing I'd noticed. Rather than speaking about how much his heart beats for her because she's so awesome, he literally pinpoints that she's so dumb by not choosing him. Even if you're all superior to her current boyfriend, she has to like you and see you as a potential partner first. The sheer entitlement is baffling. Dude, what a turd. What a turd sandwich of a fella, huh? You didn't break him. His ego is just bruised. Ego! That's a problem with people. That's what it is, man. Ego will destroy you. It warps your perception. It warps your reality. Ego is like a slip and slide of habit in your brain where you're just like, yeah, this is the slide I usually ride. And then other people will be like, whoa, that slide is actually really bad and dangerous. And you're like, oh, maybe I should stop. Hopefully, rejection is a part of life and it's on him to learn from it. NTA. P.S. He did ask you to be honest and you gave him exactly that. Good. I hope he learns from this. The immediately drinking thing means he wasn't actually ready to hear the truth. It shows that he was hoping she'd be like, the truth is I'm too attracted to you and I can't freaking handle my loins around you every day. I can't handle my freaking do women have loins? I don't know. I don't even know what loins are. NTA, he literally talked about you and treated you like a piece of property. That alone would be enough to say not interested. The fact that this is how he treats all of his prior girlfriends shows you who he is. Anyone who claims telling him the truth broke him and you were too harsh is not someone you want in your life either. I would stop being friends with all of them. You are the company you keep. Yes, 1,000%. Dude, you're the amalgam of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And if you're surrounding yourself with people who think that you are being too harsh by pushing away this guy who thinks he can just like own you out of nowhere and he's talking crap about your boyfriend and all this stuff, bro, what a mess. Absolutely not, dude. You know what? Take a look at this fox. Take a look at this fox right now. Lock in. Little shy, dapper fella. Look at that. Look at his little eyes. He's skittish like a cat, Oh my God, look at it sitting. Look at it sit. Boop. Oh, give him a little treat. He's big. Is that big for a fox? What a pretty little fella. What a cute little face. Anyway, folks, look, as you leave today, remember this. You teach people how to treat you. And the consequences of that are not on you, dog. If people think you're a jerk because you refuse to be walked over, then they're not people who deserve to be in your life, okay? Outro with a dance break.